Why most people fade after 80 to 5 unexpected reasons. Why do so many older people seem to fade after 80? Even those who were sharp, active, and healthy just a few years earlier often begin to decline. Most assume it's genetics or just bad luck. But the truth is, there's more to the story. In this video, we're going to explore 5 unexpected, often overlooked reasons why many people struggle to thrive beyond age 80. These aren't the usual suspects like smoking or diet. These are subtle shifts that can quietly drain vitality, even in people who did most things right. The good news? Once you understand what they are, you can do something about them. So, if you're wondering how to protect your future, or the well-being of someone you love, stay with me to the end. These 5 reasons may change the way you think about aging. 1. Loss of microsocial engagement. One of the first reasons people decline after 80 is the slow disappearance of microsocial engagement, those small, everyday social moments you barely notice. It's not just about deep friendships or family time. It's the wave to your neighbor, the short chat with the mail carrier, the casual joke with the grocery store cashier. These tiny interactions regulate your nervous system, reinforce belonging, and keep your brain's social circuits active. But after 80, many older adults stop going out. They order groceries online. They avoid conversations because hearing is harder. Or they skip walks because the sidewalk feels unsteady. When those little social moments disappear, so does vitality. It might seem like simplifying life, but what's really happening is a quiet withdrawal from the human ecosystem. And the brain responds. It raises inflammation, disrupts hormones, and starts to shrink the parts responsible for memory and emotion. I've known people in their 80s who stayed mentally sharp simply because they walked to the same coffee shop every morning, said hello to the same faces, and waved at familiar passers-by. Those 5-minute connections? They were lifeblood. If you've stopped engaging with the world in these small ways, it's time to return to them. Because those forgettable moments? They remind your body and mind that you still matter. 2. Overcautious inactivity. The second reason? Being too careful. It starts innocently. Maybe a slip on the stairs or a wobbly moment outside makes you cautious. You stop walking as much. You avoid bending or reaching. You stay seated longer. Everyone applauds your caution. Don't push it, they say. But what no one tells you is that when movement stops, strength disappears, not just in muscles, but in balance, coordination, and confidence. Your body isn't a machine that lasts longer when idle. It's a system that thrives on use. And when it goes unused, it weakens. Fast. I once knew a man named Walter, 82, who stopped walking after one bad scare. 6 months later, he'd lost 10 pounds of muscle. His legs were jelly. His doctor warned him, but the damage had begun. He didn't stop because he was weak. He became weak because he stopped. There's a difference between managing risk and surrendering to fear. Use handrails. Wear good shoes. Even use a cane. But don't stop moving. Movement tells your body it's still needed. And when your body feels needed, it stays alive. 3. Disrupted sleep from poor light exposure. There's a silent clock in your body, your circadian rhythm, that controls your mood, immune system, even how your brain repairs itself at night. After 80, this clock becomes incredibly sensitive. And one of the biggest disruptors? Not getting enough light in the day, and too much light at night. Maybe you sleep more in the afternoons. Or you stop going outside regularly. Maybe your evenings are lit by TV screens and bright lamps. These may seem harmless, but they scramble your internal signals. Daylight tells your body to be awake and energized. Darkness cues melatonin for deep, healing sleep. But without morning light, and with too much evening brightness, your body gets confused. You start waking up groggy, feeling tired all day, and your memory may begin to suffer. vitamin D also drops. And without it, your bones, muscles, and immune system weaken. I knew an 84-year-old woman named Helen. Her doctor told her to sit near a bright window for 20 minutes every morning, and turn off screens an hour before bed. 2 weeks later, her sleep, mood, and memory were all better. So, get outside early. Let the sun touch your skin. In the evenings, dim the lights. Your body needs that rhythm to stay strong. 4. Suppressed emotions from loss and isolation. By 80, most people have experienced significant loss: a spouse, sibling, lifelong friends. And while the world may offer polite sympathy, few understand just how deeply those losses accumulate. What happens next isn't always visible grief. It's emotional suppression. It's swallowing pain instead of expressing it. It's saying, "I'm fine," because you feel like you should be used to it by now. Or because no one's left who truly understands what you've lost. But the body remembers. Unprocessed grief becomes physical. It impacts digestion, immunity, sleep. It puts the nervous system in a state of quiet stress. And over time, it makes the body shut down, bit by bit. I knew George, 86. After losing his wife, he didn't cry much. He said he was doing okay. But a year later, he'd stopped sleeping, stopped going out, and lost weight, not from illness, but from unreleased sorrow. Emotional pain doesn't need to be dramatic to be damaging. What isn't expressed gets buried. And what gets buried festers. People who live well past 80 usually have an outlet: a friend, a journal, a faith practice, even a therapist. Because what's spoken can heal. And when the heart is allowed to feel, the body is allowed to recover. 5. Loss of daily purpose. Finally, many people fade after 80 because they lose something quiet but essential: daily purpose. Not grand, world-changing purpose. But the kind that gives a reason to rise in the morning. Something to do. Someone to see. A small task that matters. Maybe it's watering the plants. Feeding a neighbor's cat. Writing a letter. Fixing a hinge. These give the day shape. But when these routines fade, so does the will to keep going. The body listens to the mind. And when the mind no longer sees a reason to push forward, the body follows. I once met Ruth, 88, who felt more alive than people half her age. Every Monday she wrote postcards. Every Thursday she made soup for a shelter. Every afternoon she sat by her window to wave at neighborhood kids. Those tiny routines gave her continuity. Rhythm. Meaning. And that's the secret: the body stays alive as long as it believes it's needed. So if you've lost that spark, find one small thing to anchor your day. A garden, a pet, a prayer, a phone call. Purpose doesn't have to be dramatic. It just has to be consistent. Final thoughts. Most people don't fade after 80 because of a big event. It's not a diagnosis or a fall. It's the quiet, gradual loss of connection, movement, rhythm, feeling, and purpose. The good news? What's lost slowly can also be rebuilt slowly. One small walk. One extra hello. One stretch. One page in your journal. One habit that says, "I'm still here. I still matter." So ask yourself, of the 5 reasons we've discussed, which one feels familiar? Which one are you willing to act on today? Because aging is inevitable. But how you age? That's still yours to shape. Thank you for being here. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment with something you learned, or plan to do, today. And if this video helped you, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue to create meaningful content that informs and inspires. We'll see you in the next video.